It's not your family, James, because it was me, Barry.
The skin is not your own.
Welcome to the podcast where we talk about anything and everything that comes out of the crapshoot. I'm your host, JD. This is my co-host,
I'm just an angry person, I realized.
James. I call him James. Everyone else just calls him Jimmy. Just works like that.
It's a little weird.
A lot of things have happened this week, James.
I just hate people.
Do you hate people?
I hate specific people.
There's just nothing in your body but hate.
I mean,
nowadays.
I love things. It's just, some people just make
things
me
are
not
not
love
people.
things. And their skin is not their own.
Yeah.
We're all saying the same thing here.
We're all saying mouth.
I just keep seeing more shit from like Dr. Disrespect and Nick Merckx. And I'm like, God, just shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah, you don't
Just
like
go
them?
back to playing Call of Duty and fucking yelling, you 40-year-old men.
They're
Just
not
shut
40,
up.
James.
Yes, they are.
They're over 40.
Yes. You're right. They're not 40. They're over 40.
They're over 40.
God, they just don't shut up. And it's like,
James, they're
I'd
older than
stop
you, man.
caring.
You gotta
I'd
respect.
stop paying
You gotta
attention
respect
to
your
it if they
elders,
just
dude.
Shut up.
You have to respect your elders.
No,
You know they got more life experience than you do, James.
I don't think they do. I don't believe you if you tell me Dr. Disrespect has more life experience than me.
Oh, you're right, because I forgot you're pretty old too.
Yeah,
I know
man,
that the youngsters.
I'm older
I know
than
the
40.
youngsters piss you off these days, but just give them a break. They're just
all the young people piss me
they're
off.
spry little dudes. So
I'm a progressive boomer.
no.
Oh, dude.
Anyway, you want to get into some news, or do you want to get into the movie that we watched recently?
I think it's probably going to be more digestible if we talk about the movie first, and then at the end, when people would normally peter off, is when I just get angry and talk
Okay.
about news and stuff.
Yeah, we could do that. So, what movie did we watch, James?
Transformers.
No, we watched The Flash,
Oh,
the recent one, the one starring our boy Ezra.
No,
Ezra
can't
Miller.
say that.
It's one of the boys, man. Because they just like to go around and party hard, and
I appreciate you saying they after saying the boys several times.
well, I mean, I know you want to think of everything as gender specific, but I use the boys and guys and bitches as a non-gender related thing, like words. They could be, you could be anybody and be a
just
bitch.
Like how I use I.
Like you're a
will
bitch.
Kill you, and it's non-gender specific.
You're a little bitch. See?
Say it to my face.
Fly me out somewhere. Say it to my face.
I'll drive over to your house
he's
right
a little
now,
pussy
JD.
because he won't say it to my face.
I'll drive to your house right now. I'll come onto your side of the podcast.
That's great. You could just film me on your phone, and I'll be like, "You're a bitch." You can post that to TikTok, and everyone will agree with me. And then,
Nobody will. No, Jay, you're mistaking Reddit and TikTok for the same thing.
Oh, I see. You get a lot of support on TikTok.
Yeah, a little bit. I get enough.
Anyway, so the movie. What'd you think about the movie?
I've been sitting on it, and it's kind of grown.
I've let you stew for a couple days.
It's like the Transformers movie. It's growing on me compared to my initial reaction, but it's also like it's so clearly been like messed with.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That was just my door closing on its own.
Okay, I just heard a loud bang.
Yeah, that's my door closing. No one's touched it. It's just closed on its own.
Katie, there's an alternate in your room right now.
Well, you better be scared.
Ezra Miller's in your room right now.
Ezra Miller's. They better be scared.
It's clearly been changed from what it initially was. That much is clear from like how the story
what was your
progresses.
initial rating then?
I think my initial rating was maybe like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, That
Like
was pretty generous for that reaction I saw out of you when we walked out of that
I
theater.
know, and that's why I'm
Because
like
to
I want to
me
be genuine.
that was like a 3 out of 10 reaction from you when we walked
No,
out. I
I
was
don't
like,
think I don't think I could have objectively given it a 3 out of 10. Like I might have been very upset, but I don't think I could have
I
objectively
meant
given
your
it a 3 out
reaction
of
was like
10.
a 3 out of 10, like it was a three out of
Oh,
ten movie.
yeah, no, I think initially it was a 6 out of 10. It's probably now like a 7. It hasn't
Yeah,
gone up much, but like I can't say it was a bad movie because it did tell the story not badly. Not everything about it was bad. The pacing was pretty good for the most part. CGI wasn't bad
literally.
all the time, except for like a couple scenes.
Well, I mean, some of the major scenes had bad CGI in it.
The babies, really, is what I can only
The
think of if I'm
babies,
being
I thought the
honest.
babies were terrible.
The
Like it
babies
was
were
noticeably bad.
the
Like
babies were a
it took me
nightmare.
out of the scene when I first watched it. I was like, that looks
So,
really bad.
if I'm being honest, probably the thing that upset me the most
Yeah.
is the way they depicted the time traveling.
But
Uh,
you don't like time traveling?
I do, and
Really?
I
Because
thought
so
Zack.
far from what I've heard, you don't like Endgame, which has time traveling. You
No,
don't
I
like the
just
time
don't like the
traveling
way
there.
I don't
You
like the
don't
way
like the
that
time
Endgame. No,
traveling
no,
in the
no.
Flash.
I do like time traveling in the Flash. I just don't like the way that it's projected here. I think
Where you
it's a very
projected.
weird visualization of it.
Oh, well, the Flash doesn't usually like
Go into a
glitch into a time
college, a
ball and then like
college.
backwards through time.
No, the Flash isn't usually sitting in a little ball of time as he's standing in what looks like a fucking college
By the way,
classroom
those
going upwards in
time ball
shelves.
scenes also had really bad CGI in them.
Yeah, that was one
The
of the other
models were
ones.
particularly bad, I
That
think.
was one of the other ones, but I excused it because it was like, it's like
Yeah, you
whatever.
could excuse some bad CGI in the movie.
Yeah, because I can excuse when Hulk looks bad and stuff because it's like I won't expect them to always have it look good. But
She Hulk.
I don't even think She-Hulk looks bad.
I don't know.
It's,
I haven't
I
seen too much of it.
everybody always says it looks bad, but I'm gonna be honest, it really didn't for the most part. Like in the trailers, it looked bad, but that was just because of how they were edited.
Hmm.
I think trailers make stuff look worse than we think, and then like when we get to the final product, it looks better. But
Yeah.
anyways, uh, yeah, I think the way they visualize time is a lot worse. I think the way that uh Zack Snyder's Justice League did it, where it was just simply literally rewinding everything as he takes a step and makes everything go and everything. Because
So he's
I
just moving
guess
normally and everything around him is rewinding.
yeah, everything's rewinding around him and then he's moving forward and stuff. I think that's better than them standing in place and then moving their feet backwards to rewind time.
Yeah. So
I
how would you think they would have visualized it going back to his like childhood if they weren't going to use the time ball thing?
I don't even think the time ball is a problem. I just think the the way it folds in, like the room it creates. That's like I keep calling it a college room, like with the way that the like seats kind of go upwards and stuff. Like
Yeah. Well, it's
the
kind of like a little
memories go upwards.
stadium. It's like a little stadium and
Yeah,
time
it's
balls
the
in the middle of it.
stadium that he's in. I think that's just it. I just don't like the stadium.
It's a
I
stadium
don't mind
and
the time ball.
and it's
I
surrounded
wish.
by stuff. By the way, this is a spoiler review. I think it's going to be in the title, so
Yeah, sorry, I immediately started
we
talking
won't have to
spoilers.
clarify it because it's in the title.
I mean, we haven't said anything spoilery, especially, have we?
Mm, not anything that normal
I,
average Flash enjoyer would not know.
I mean, the trailers themselves, like even the first trailer, was like time traveling. Barry, you time traveled and you messed up everything.
Yeah, I
They
don't think
say
it's a
that.
spoiler then.
The babies, that's the spoiler. uh, yeah, I guess I don't like the way that the stadium looks. And if they just changed that and it was a world rewinding around him,
It's
I
weird
would be
because the
fine.
stadium, like the rows on the stadium, are just like the same model of the person in his like memories, but just repeated over and over again around. I was like, that looks bad, but
Yeah, I get the
I
idea.
get what they're trying to do.
It's the whole I get the idea, but it doesn't make sense type of execution to me, where it's like I get what you're
So
trying to do, but this is like not a good way of doing it.
I see. Before we start getting into the more negative stuff about the movie, I'll give my rating for it.
Yeah,
I think it's a 6 out of 10. I think I enjoyed it. Yeah, it's pretty good. I think it's, I think I might have enjoyed that more than I enjoyed the other DC EU movies so far. I'm trying to think of one that I enjoyed more,
that's
but
also because you're a fucking psychopath.
I don't know. I feel like I'm the majority vote on that. I'm just a sheep when when it came to the DCU movies.
Yeah, man, you're
I went in there, I watched it, and I was like, man, that was not that great, and then I left. But this one I thought it was okay. Yeah, it was pretty good. 6 out of 10. Anyway, though, I kind of wish there was a more of like Pete Davidson voicing something in it, and then him dying at the end
and
of the
then coming
movie,
back to life
and
in
then
that post credit scene.
turning into a suit of armor around the main character Ezra. I think Pete Davidson
I
should have turned into armor around Ezra Miller at the end.
I don't know if I
And
sent
then
it to you, but they did have a practical suit technically
yeah.
for the Mirage armor,
Hmm.
but it's like gray foam, so it's just like CGI'd over.
Well, speaking of other bad things that I noticed you mentioned, what do you think about the Flash's suit in the movie?
Dude, I'm so indifferent about it. Like
To me, it
I
looks a little weird.
there's some scenes where he's just standing there and it looks weird on him.
It looks I can't really place it right, but the proportions are weird on the on his like body
It
when he's
it,
wearing the suit.
it doesn't match Ezra Miller's like just normal
Plus,
body.
you could really it's like you can tell it's CG too for most
Yeah,
of
there are
it.
definitely some scenes where
It
they
gives
just
me
voice CG over it for no reason,
it gives
really.
me Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern vibes actually because
Yeah,
the
I get
just that
that.
suit.
Well, I don't know if I could say I get that because like that one, it's not even like a practical suit to reference. It just literally is a CG suit with
That's
nothing
what the
else.
Flash's suit looks like to me.
I know, but like my problem is
But
that
I
the
know that
Flash does have
there's
a
a practical
practical
version
suit.
of it because there's like in some scenes he's actually wearing it. I think and there's like textures on the suit and stuff.
Yeah, there's definitely some scene. Okay, I guess I didn't screenshot the Transformers suit. I was trying to find it to send it to you. But anyways, uh, it's definitely weird because it's like you can see that they're wearing it in some of those scenes, but then it's just like CGI in others, and it doesn't make sense sometimes when it is.
To me, he looks a little bulgy in some areas, and I think that's because they try to make him like really ripped and like buff, but
Yeah,
he's
they try to
not.
make it look like
He's
comic
not
book
buff.
Flash.
The Flash is not buff, so
I don't like when they show. I mean, I really feel like there was only one time when the Flash being buff worked, and that was John Wesley's ship. And it's just they've never been able to replicate that. Here, I'll send you it.
yeah. So when he's wearing the suit, it's his helmet is like his head is big compared to the rest of his body, and so are the boots too. The boots are big, and then
Yeah,
like
dude, the boots are
torso's
so
the
huge.
torso's bit like the shoulder width on the torso is small, but his arms are big because they want to make him buff. Right? They want to make Eddie Brock, Barry Allen kind of buff, which
Yeah.
I think was in some. I think that was the animated version had that where Barry Allen was kind of buff, but
Yeah, animated
I don't
very
think Barry Allen in DCU was meant to be like that.
no, normally when an actor plays Barry Allen, they aren't buff.
Hmm.
Because it's just like, hey, you're a runner, you're like Grant Gustin isn't necessarily buff, but he is like, he does have muscle.
You know, he's got like
But
a
like
fit, slim build. You know.
I'd say that he has maybe just not as much as Ezra, which is surprising to say. Ezra, when they did the shirtless scene, did look like they were kind of a bit buffer than like how I remember Grant looking.
I
Uh,
I like the fact that they have so many naked scenes of Ezra in this movie. They have a lot of
Absolutely
shirtless
unnecessary.
scenes. They have a lot of scenes where it's just his ass, like
This is the
on
one time I
screen.
think the buff Flash works. By the way, is John
Yeah,
Wesley ship. It's a
I
bad
see.
photo,
Oh, did
but
you
that's
post
just because it's
something?
the best full body photo I can find of it.
Oh, I see.
it was made around the time that Michael Keaton's Batman from this movie, uh, his
From the
movie
same
came out.
movie.
The Flash TV show was happening, and they made this suit kind of to align with how that Batman suit looked. And I
Hmm.
think it's really good, honestly. Like I even still think it's really good
I see.
because that is no joke. What John Wesley Shipp's actual body looks like under it.
Hmm.
He was fucking ripped.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing about the movie, spaghetti. You know, I mentioned this a lot to James whenever we were watching the movie. I mentioned it even before. I said it to him. I was like, you know what this movie is like? And then James was like, what's it like? And I said, it's a hot mess of spaghetti. And he and then James was like,
Yeah,
what
man.
is that supposed to mean? And we watched the movie. Now you know what I mean. So I'm glad that we can come to an understanding of
Yeah, we
what
can
the
finally
spaghetti
come
actually
together and
means.
just fucking lose our mind about spaghetti.
There is a lot of spaghetti in this movie.
I can't believe I walked out of this scene where you fucking talked about spaghetti. When I come back, you're
You know, the
like,
first
you missed
time,
it. Spaghetti.
the reason why I said spaghetti is because I only remembered it in one scene, which is when Michael Keaton was like, "Oh, timelines are like spaghetti," and I was like, that's kind of a funny analogy. I'll say that to James next time, but I'll leave out the timeline and I'll just say spaghetti. But I
Yeah.
forgot that like before that, like Barry Allen eats spaghetti with his family. He eats spaghetti, and then near the end of the movie, he says something about spaghetti again. There's just a lot of spaghetti. What's wrong,
Yeah,
James?
I don't know. It's like it feels like they're trying to do what the Spider-Verse movies did. Here's another photo of the John Wesley Shipp Flash suit, and with Luke Skywalker's own Mark Hamill as Trickster. Honestly, really like it.
Wow.
Uh, Again, really great looking suit. But I think it feels like they're trying to do what the Spider-Verse movie did with the bagel, and like how Everything Everywhere All at Once did the bagel as well to describe the multiverse.
I
It feels
I
like
don't
that's
know
what they're
about the
trying to do
bagel.
with. I know you don't know it because you've never seen these movies. But as somebody who has, it does feel like it's kind of derivative of that, but it's like not exactly. Like
I
it
think
feels.
spaghetti is a pretty good analogy for it.
Yeah, no, I think it
You
is,
just
but
think
it
it's
also feels
stupid
like
because
it's.
I said it to you before, because I kept saying it to you before and during the movie.
Yeah. You made me hate it.
I could have, what I could have done? I could have just let you go to the bathroom. Like in one timeline, I would have just let you go to the bathroom and you would have completely missed Svarog come out of nowhere and kick Barry Allen into the timeline that we're in.
Who?
Sorry, Dark Flash.
No, I thought you said strong arm. I'm like, who the
No,
fuck is strong arm?
I said Svarog because I forgot the name
You
because I
forgot
just know it
Savitar.
from Star Rail.
You forgot Savitar.
Savitar, that's what it was, yeah. They both have an S and a V in their name. I get it confused.
That's pretty lazy of you, JD. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, I'm a big Flash head, but sometimes I'm also forgetful head. So,
Forgetful head, Jesus
yeah, I
Christ.
mean, in one timeline, I could just let you go to the bathroom and you would have completely missed it because he only shows up for like 10 seconds. That's his introduction.
You know, JD, you say that,
Yeah.
but by you saying that, that means that that timeline does exist. You did let me go to the bathroom without letting me see it, and I was very
And
confused.
that's when you're like, no, I got to go back. So you start running really fast and you go into the time ball to reverse time. So you go watch that moment of the Flash movie again.
That was
But
my
while you
moment when
do
I.
it, it turns out in that timeline you butterfly affected the theater, and so a terrorist in the movie theater exploded, and then a giant piece of metal got lodged into your arm. You're like, oh man, JD died. I got to go back and save him. So you repeated it over again.
I don't know, JD, you might be putting too much faith in me being concerned about.
No, just anyway. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty solid. Uh, I think the plot points were fine for me. To me, it was I think they did Flashpoint pretty well like a movie version. It made sense to me. I had no problems with the time travel thing.
Yeah,
Maybe
it feels like a
one
new
problem
version
with
of
it.
the.
There's like a weird thing where it's like I think they do explain it in the movie, or like the plot, like after thinking about it chronologically, it makes sense. But the reason, like, Barry goes back in time, right, to save his mother, and then he
Right.
gets punched out of the time ball when he's trying to go back to the future by Dark Flash Savitar.
Yeah, they should have just said it's Savitar, honestly.
So he gets punched out of the sphere by Savitar, and so he ends up in the timeline where his mother's alive, and there's an 18-year-old version of him walking around, and so he's like, "Wait a minute! If I don't give the 18-year-old version of me powers, then I won't have my powers because he's a younger me." So then they go and get powers, right? Gets his powers,
Yeah.
and then Bruce explains to him that the timelines are different or something, right? So they didn't really need to give him powers because it's a whole basically a multiverse.
Yeah, this isn't like actually his time. It's a multiverse now because he's
Like been pushed out into a random point that he wasn't originally from.
Right. And this brings us to the whole Savitar thing, right? So Savitar is like this 90-year-old version of Flash.
young Flash.
Yeah, and he's covered in like this he's covered in, I guess,
A bunch of
Kryptonian
metal.
armor chunks is what I'm gonna guess
Basically,
those
a
are.
bunch of shrapnel from like Kryptonian armor, blades, and whatnot that just got lodged in him because he's inexperienced and can't phase properly.
Yeah, because he doesn't know how to phase properly.
He did it like
Unintentionally the first time, and every time he's done it since, he's just kind of like fucked it up.
Yeah.
I do like that, by the way. It's very reminiscent of Wally West, who couldn't phase properly sometimes, so he'd give himself like a bloody nose trying to go through walls and stuff.
I see. Yeah. So, but like Savitar, like the whole point of or a large plot point in the movie is that like going back in time and changing stuff breaks the multiverse or something. Like it tears apart things and smashes multiverses together.
yeah.
But like how long does it take to break the multiverse then if Savitar's been doing it for a while, or does
I
he
think-
just not count?
I think he created a sort of
Paradoxical point where it doesn't matter what his existence is.
Yeah, he's just a force of nature now.
Yeah,
He's part of the Speed Force.
That's why I was like, I think they were trying to do Black Flash without properly doing it. That's why it's called Dark Flash instead,
I see.
because that is what Dark Flash is. It is a creature that exists no matter what, just an essence of the Speed Force that is out to put vengeance. But like in this version, it exists because it is a paradox, because it created itself and whatnot.
I see. Because then the whole thing is like, if the young version, so the 18-year-old version of the Flash in this timeline is Savitar, like he turns into Savitar.
yeah.
Yeah, but then like Savitar accidentally kills his younger version and then he disappears. So I guess like the timeline thing works there, right?
It only works if that Barry is alive, which that Barry, upon seeing Savitar, stops like going back. I think is the problem that
He would have kept going back if he didn't witness Savitar, but Savitar wanted to kill Old Barry, so he couldn't stop him.
Mm-hmm.
And instead ended up creating not only his creation, but also his death in the process.
Right.
Being a complete loop that ends itself in one moment.
I see. So then Savitar could have just
I
like,
know, it's very confusing. It
so
makes
then
no
he could have just let it go then, right? And then he would have been fine. If he just didn't show up, or
I think the point is that if he did let it go, yeah, he would have been fine if he let it go. But he didn't know that because he didn't he didn't intend to create himself.
also, isn't he stupid too? Because he didn't go through
So
school.
stupid.
Because
He's so stupid.
he literally spent like all his life running through experiencing the time ball, right?
Right.
So his like level of intelligence is like 18 years old.
It's the same, and that's why it's the same intelligence. He has this desperation not only to save everyone, but specifically to save Supergirl. So he keeps putting himself in these very dangerous situations that are just killing him more and more slowly.
Yeah,
as
I
he
do like the
collects
fact
more.
that the Flash is pretty weak in this universe. I guess his power level is really low compared to a lot of other superheroes. Like-
Yeah.
Like I like in my mind, I thought he could just kill Zod like pretty much instantly if he just phased his hand through like to his heart. Right?
He
Couldn't he
could.
just kill him like that, just like that?
He
but
could,
apparently
but
he
also
can't. So
Zod is
whatever.
Zod is not on like other Kryptonians level. He's on Superman's level and then some.
Right.
He is that, and that's like Man of Steel showed that it's like Man of Steel even could not stop Zod if he tried. That's why he had to like without killing him. And so it's like
Yeah, so
then you
Superman
put
like
him
snapped
up
his
with
neck.
super strength against Flash. It's like he's gonna win, not because
Yeah.
he just has the same
Dang,
amount of
dude, if
speed,
only he was better
but
at
because he
phasing.
can beat him. Yeah, I think it also is a difference of which Barry was against Zod in that moment, because older Barry was trying to save Bruce, and younger Barry was trying to kill Zod, but can't actually because he doesn't know how to fucking do anything.
Yeah, I guess he just doesn't understand how OP super speed is, I guess. But maybe
Yeah.
maybe not. I don't know.
He kind of does, but not in the extent that like
Older Barry did by fucking
I love his
phasing
laugh, by
hand.
the way. I love young Barry's laugh.
But,
Yeah, this ha ha ha, like the it sounds like a bird cawing.
it sounds like Matthew Lillard's laugh as Stu Macher from fucking Scream.
Yeah, and every time he laughs like that, I can look over at James and it's like says if he had like a neutral face or a smile beforehand, it would immediately like shift into the
I
slight
hated
frown.
it. I hated.
I could
young
tell it
Barry
bothered
so
you.
much.
There was another scene that really bothered you too. And it
What
was
was
the
it?
it was when they just got back to Barry's
the
young
apartment.
Barry's apartment
The
and they gets
apartment.
introduced to all
Oh.
his dorm mates. Why didn't you like
Yeah.
that scene so much? It was pretty I thought it was pretty
So-
funny.
So fucking stupid. I didn't like who they'd casted as those characters
What do you mean?
because those are
You don't like the
characters. by
Viner
way.
man and the one girl who's there and Gary? You don't like Gary?
No, I didn't care for Gary. I don't know what Gary brought to the story or even did.
He's funny. That's what he brought
Is
to the
he?
story. Yeah. And he's the one who showed us that, Marty McFly was Eric
Yeah,
Schultz.
that's all Gary did, but that wasn't even really necessary to get the point across.
I mean, come on, it was a
Hey, nothing
rizzed
you
up
say will
scene.
make me agree.
What didn't you like about it?
It just felt unnecessary. It didn't feel like it did anything. It felt like
You could have just gotten the same. It felt like a weird break in pace.
Yeah.
Where it was like we were going very like getting through points and then it just stops. So all these idiots can just be idiots in the scene. As then Barry has to not say anything to these idiots and then has to get angry at these idiots as the idiots keep idioting.
No,
and
it was a plot point.
I thought the only funny thing, I'm being genuine, the only funny thing was when I realized that Rudy, the actor Rudy, was really playing the piano in that scene.
Yeah, the background
I know-
music to that scene, which was a little goofy, was because he was playing on the keyboard in the room.
Fun fact, that guy actually does play keyboard. That's why I'm like, oh, I thought that was funny, is that they had him just actually
Oh,
play
I see.
keyboard. He's a former Viner, by the way.
hmm
And
Yeah, because like he's like going through all these epiphanies, like, oh my god, I fucked up. Superman doesn't exist. Aquaman doesn't exist. Can you stop playing that goddamn keyboard?
I think that's really funny when I realized that. I thought that was pretty funny, but I felt like Gary didn't need to be there.
What?
Gary didn't do any, like Gary didn't help with the
at
review of
the second time I
Batman.
watched it, I was like, who is Gary in the normal universe too? Where is Gary
That's
at?
what I
don't-
thought. I was like, did I miss
I-
Gary?
I must have
No,
missed
because
Gary. I
they
don't know
never
where he was.
showed Gary. And I think that's supposed to be the joke, is that Gary's just a random person, but then it's like,
That's pretty funny.
is it?
Yeah, he's like this like gross, disgusting dude who's just chilling in
I
young
wouldn't say
Barry's room.
gross, he's just laying on the couch and then wakes up and gets.
Well, he
all
wakes
upset
up and
about,
he like flings off his blanket and he's not wearing pants. He's in whitey tighties and then like
Yeah,
in dirty
they're all a
socks
bunch of
and then he
gross, disgusting idiots
stretched
that-
and then the joke is that he smells disgusting and then he grabs his like leg and like stretches it out to show the tattoo of what was it? Eric Schultz.
Yeah, Eric Schultz.
on his calf.
I can't believe we had that conversation, and I didn't even realize it would be a conversation in the movie.
We had like I don't know if it was was it in the crapshoot, the previous one?
I don't remember.
We had a conversation about Back to the Future before watching
Yeah.
this movie, but it was after I watched the movie for the first time, and I was
Yeah.
trying not to be like, this it showed up. They were talking about this in multiple scenes in the Flash. It was multiple scenes,
Yeah. Okay. Wait. No, we were talking
Talking about in the crapshoot because I was talking about how they replaced Eric Schultz with Jamie Foxx
Right.
or Michael James Fox. Sorry,
Yeah, so Eric Schultz
Jamie
is
Michael Fox.
in this universe he's canonically Marty McFly, so
Right, and then Jamie Foxx was Footloose, and then Kevin Bacon was something, and it's just a whole domino effect from there.
yeah.
uh,
I mean, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, yeah, man, it's fucking hilarious. Got the whole squad laughing.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people were laughing at the theater. The only person who wasn't laughing was you.
Yeah, man, this is the noise that was playing when that scene was playing, and you looked at me, and this is what was playing in my head.
Yeah. Oh,
I was
I
just
thought it would be
cracking
more
up.
like
no, that was me seeing Ezra Miller at any point in the movie. Generally,
well, you don't like watching Ezra Miller's naked body multiple
oh
times in the
God,
movie?
it wasn't even that. I was just being general with Ezra Miller because of the shit they've done. But yeah, it was also
I
the
mean,
amount of times they showed Ezra naked.
there was also some meta jokes about Ezra Miller. I don't know if you caught the director's
Don't
subtle
think
hint that
those
you
were
caught them.
intentional. I can't tell if those were intentional or not,
You
though.
sure? I mean, they seem pretty subtle to me.
With the amount of reshoots, or not the
Yeah.
amount, but with the reshoots, I can't tell if that was intentional or not.
You know, because there are some moments in the film where Ezra Miller, as Barry Allen, says to some lady after saving the babies, he was like, what was it?
The Justice League doesn't have very
Yeah,
good
the
mental
Justice
health figured out yet.
Yeah,
That's also
that's all
a
figured out,
joke
yeah.
on like how mentally unwell all the Justice League is
That's
in the
true.
comics, just normally and in other media.
Yeah,
And so that's why I'm
Barry
like,
Allen's mother dies and his father's in prison.
and he doesn't properly take care of that mental trauma.
And
He just keeps trying to
he's
find
fucked
the
up
ghost
too.
that killed him.
He's just trying to run away from his past. Get it? Because he's the Flash.
Oh no, I thought he was Quicksilver.
No, Quicksilver dies.
What?
Yeah,
Well, we got to go back.
in both times.
Nobody dies.
You can't go back. There's only one speedster, and that was Quicksilver, and he died.
No, 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 no.
You're just gonna let her die?
You're just gonna
I
let
mean,
Quicksilver
don't you
die?
think Ezra Miller played it pretty well? You don't think?
I
he-
think,
you don't
yeah, I think
Ezra
Ezra did a good job playing the dual roles, and I'm gonna be honest, I did like young Barry by the end.
Yeah, I mean, you know, because I think you know, you let young Barry's his like annoyance get to you, and you kind of fail to realize that, you know, he's just a kid,
He's 19,
and he was
years
dragged
old.
into all this by old Barry. So
Are you saying that young Barry was dragged into it by old Barry, much like the father did to his son for the Titan submarine?
that's a terrible segue, but we can talk about that real quick. They're
Do
dead.
we want to finish with the Flash?
They're dead. Yeah, we can finish with the Flash. So anyway, yeah,
I
I think the whole movie to me seemed pretty solid. It for me it leaves off on a cliffhanger because
yeah,
by the end of the movie, Barry's not in his original timeline slash multiverse. He's in
We
a
think
he's
he
in a
is.
different one. Yeah, at least I think he is. Because there is a post credit scene, but before the post credit scene, he's definitely not in his original timeline.
yeah. I think he's still not in it in the post credit scene either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm not sure how they're gonna take it from here. Like maybe there's gonna be like, all right, let's switch over to this other multiverse, and every actor is different now. And I think
Yeah, I
I think
mean-
that's the direction they're aiming for, actually.
Yeah, I mean that is absolutely what they're doing since it is.
And they're
a
like, no more
complete-
Ezra Miller.
Since
He's the Flash in that multiverse.
I mean, I think that's what they're doing since the next movie that was made before James Gunn took over and announced the complete new slate of movies and like what's happening and whatnot is
Yeah.
Blue Beetle, but Blue Beetle I think is technically a part of the new stuff and not the old. So I think
He's gonna be the
technically
start of
that's-
the new multiverse.
Yeah, he's the next Iron Man.
I like how you hated when I made that comparison.
I know, that's why I was making it.
Because we saw the Blue Beetle trailer right before we watched the movie. It is the trailer that played, and he, you know, he gets a suit of armor around him, and I'm like, hey, look, it's Iron Man, and then he sprouts jetpacks and starts flying through the air in his armor. I'm like,
Which
hey,
Blue
look, it's
Beetle
Iron
has
Man.
always had.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't. The only time I've ever seen Blue Beetle was the one animated Batman series, which I don't really remember that well.
Batman Brave and Bold.
I think so. Yeah, it was
That's
also the
good.
one where
That's a good
like
show.
something
That's a good
Gold
show.
was in it too. Buster Gold, was that his name? Booster
Booster.
Gold. Yeah.
Common friend of Blue Beetle's Ted Cord, and somewhat mentor to Jaime Reyes after Ted Cord's death.
Yeah, I don't know. I pretty much don't remember anything about Blue Beetle. So
But
my
yeah,
father
you
saw that trailer and he's like, "See, look, that one's for kids. The
fuck off.
Flash, that one's for us adults. We're not
The one
going to go
about-
watch Blue Beetle. That's
The
for
one about the
kids."
megacorp being racist to the poor on their knees ethnic family. That one's for kids.
What are you talking about, man?
It's literally in the trailer.
It's not in the trailer. I think you're projecting, James.
So I thought Flash was pretty all right.
Yeah, you thought the last moments of the movie were not very good, right?
Yeah, that's the part that lost me completely. Is
Oh,
literally
I wanted to bring up real quick before we talk about the end. You like all the cameos that are in the movie? All the little Easter eggs, the little nostalgia trips, huh?
The only one I really cared for was Nicolas Cage. I thought that was literally the
I thought
best.
Nicolas Cage was cool too.
Dude, and here's
He's
the thing.
Superman, by the way, in one of the multiverses that we see in the end.
Here's the thing. I only think it works because it was made completely in CGI in that scene.
Yeah.
And I do not think it would have ever worked when they originally pitched that idea. Because they
Yeah,
did not have this sort of technology back then.
Wasn't it part of like Nicolas Cage lore that he's always wanted to be Superman or something? Like he loves Superman?
He always wanted to be, and he was literally going to be. They had gone costumes, they had gone almost all the way to filming, and it's just because one insane producer kept fucking everything up.
Hmm.
The guy is insane, bad shit. Like I'd say even worse than the Spider-Man producer, Avi Arad, who fucks up everything he touches mostly.
Spider-Man producer Avi Arad?
Spider-Man, yeah. The
What did
Avi Arad.
what did they make?
It's not what he makes. He's involved in every Spider-Man project, but it's
Oh.
more that he puts his fingers too much in shit, and he messes with stuff too much by trying to get it more focused on like for the toys.
Oh, I see. He's like the toy designer or something, like the marketer.
Not really. It's more like he profits off toy sales for it
Ah, I see.
because he has stakes in those companies as well. But it's also like he's the whole reason Venom is in Spider-Man 3, even though
Really, I love that guy. Holy, I love the dude. Think about it. If Venom was never in Spider-Man 3, we would never have gotten Topher Grace saying
I know.
tickling a spider sense, if you know what I mean.
Hey JD, fun fact: the only reason Topher is Eddie Brock is because Sam Raimi hates Venom so much that he wanted to sabotage it.
So he made the person who's like the least likely to be Eddie Brock.
Yeah. You know what's so funny about
What
that?
the hell?
Topher Grace put on muscle as well.
Oh, because he wanted to be serious for the role.
Yes.
And then Sam Raimi's like, no, don't do that.
But that's also my thing. I don't think he would particularly be bad. I just think because Sam Raimi hates Venom so much, that's why it's bad. I
Sam
think
Raimi doesn't
Topher-
like Venom, or does he just not like Venom because he had to shoehorn him into the movie?
Both. He doesn't particularly like Venom overall, which I think is wild because Venom is so like perfect for his whole horror movie type of thing.
Yeah,
that
that's
Sam
crazy
Raimi
to
does.
me. Because he's like, it's like a perfect like horror mix of goofiness. Because Venom's also kind of goofy, and Sam Raimi horror is
It's
kind of
like
goofy too.
Sam Raimi, Evil Dead, and Venom feel like the perfect combo. But anyways, it was just like Avi Arad put his fingers and stuff too much, and that's what this producer for Superman was doing. He kept trying to force weird shit into the Superman movie. Like he was like, "Oh, you know what? Superman's Fortress of Solitude, it needs to be guarded for when Brainiac shows up." And fucking Kevin Smith is like, "What do you mean, guarded?" And he's like, "You know, polar bears."
You know these big bears that live in the Arctic and they're white?
Yeah, he's like, the ones that are in the Arctic, and he's like, "Yeah. What if they're guarding it?"
Let's get 'em.
Kevin Smith's like, "What if Superman has like a pack with polar bears to guard
What
the
if
Fortress of
Superman
Solitude?"
took 2 snow blocks and put a pumpkin head on them, and they turned into snowman golems?
Fucking Kevin Smith's like, so you want Brainiac to just come to the Fortress of Solitude, beat up a bunch of polar bears, and then just go in? And he's like, well, polar bears are some of the most fierce creatures in the animal kingdom. He just starts listing a bunch of
What?
facts, and Kevin
Dude,
Smith's
Nicolas
like,
Cage must hate that guy then, because it's his fault that he wasn't able to play Superman.
it mostly, yeah, because that
Oh,
producer is like mainly the reason that movie tanked.
damn.
Yeah, that guy. I mean, that's what that whole spider thing is. That's Brainiac. That
I see.
spider.
It's Brainiac.
Which I think it
Brainiac
only
was going to
worked.
be Topher Grace.
If Brainiac was played by
Every time
that's
we
not
see a
bad.
shoehorned villain into a movie, a bad movie, we're just be like, hey, look, Topher Grace.
I mean, I'm just saying, why wasn't Topher Grace in No Way Home?
I would love to see Topher Grace's Venom show up again
Dude, I'm not
as
joking.
like one of the enemies at near the end.
I'm not joking. I would have been fine with that if Topher Grace just found his way into being Venom again.
Yeah,
Like, I would
because
have loved it because
I think
like,
his criteria works for the whole rules of that movie, right? The whole
yeah,
you need to know who Spider-Man is and also die by him.
yeah, but it's also he hates Peter Parker. Like he hates Peter Parker. I think more than
Right.
anybody else there.
Like, yeah, just take Green Goblin out and then replace him with Topher Grace
No, no,
Venom.
no. Keep Green Goblin in, but I think he hates him so much. But Tom Holland is literally like, I want to only help you guys. And Tobey Maguire was never like that. The Topher Grace,
That's
he
true.
was never like that.
Well, I mean, he was like that a little bit near the end, but in the
Yeah,
beginning, it's because he was an asshole because of the suit.
in the end, but
See it,
only
chump.
because he's, yeah. But like, I feel like that could have been a good like Diane, like just a good sort of like character trait that both not only round out the Sinister Six finally, but also just to add that like another character. And I know
I
why they couldn't
know
because it
that
was
you
already
feel
over budget and
strong.
shit.
That power, it feels good, doesn't it? But you got to take off the suit.
My
I
spider
like
suit
being
is
bad.
tingling.
Dude, every single line delivery that Topher Grace has in like the third act of Spider 3 is golden.
Again,
I love
it's
every
like,
single one-liner he does.
it's so bad because it's like it's just Sam Raimi's like fuck this shit.
I like being bad.
we should we should watch those movies.
What are you doing?
In the original pitch and cut, he
Yeah.
wasn't even alive in the suit when when Toby pulled him out before like trapping the Venom suit. He was just a skeleton.
Are you supposed to be a skeleton?
Yeah, by the end of it, it was supposed to be that Venom had digested him and like consumed his body and everything,
Oh. But
and
then
was
how
looking
would
for.
Venom live then? Isn't he
Well,
supposed to
that's the
keep it
thing is that
alive?
Venom was then going to latch onto Peter Parker again because he liked the whole thing is that Venom likes the symbiotic nature he has with Peter Parker more than anybody else,
Hmm.
which is why he never tries to eat Peter. But in most media, he tries to eat anybody else he latches onto, especially like in the Venom movie when he was eating Eddie Brock
Right.
and like all the other hosts and stuff.
You were eating me? You say that just reminded me of that line. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he says that in the movie.
He does. He does. It's
And then
the,
Venom's
it's
like,
the
no,
best.
no, I
It's the
they're
best line
lying.
'cause
They're
he's
setting
like,
me up.
he squints his eyes. He like points up towards like the
You
window,
were
and he's like,
eating me?
"You are eating me."
I love Venom so much in these movies.
We didn't watch the second one together, did we?
Which one? Venom 2? I've
Let
never
There Be
seen Venom
Carnage.
2, period.
Oh my god, we have to watch it then.
I guess we should.
It's
Does he have an are you eating me moment in Venom 2?
but yeah, so getting back to it, yeah, I think Nicolas Cage was the best cameo, and basically everybody else was like, meh.
It's because they gave Nicolas Cage's cameo like more time.
So much.
They give him a lot of time actually on
And
the
we
screen.
went into his universe. We saw him do something other
We
than
went
just
into
stand
his
there.
universe. He's on like some alien planet as Superman, getting like cocooned by this big spider, and he zaps the big spider, killing it with his laser eyes. And he
It's
looks at the
so
camera
good.
all stoically. Wow, it was pretty solid.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'd love to see
his
Nicolas Cage turn toward the Barry Allen, seeing him in the time stream, be like, "See you later, chump," and then the multiverse explodes with the other multiverse.
he does the Spider-Man leap into the sewers and the universe is destroyed.
Yeah. And then Topher Grace comes out of the crack that the multiverse just formed. He's like, "What the hell?" Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, there was some other Superman there too. There was the
yeah, Dean Cain was there. Christopher Reeve was there with along with his Supergirl.
Adam West showed up as Batman for like a little cameo of him running.
mhm.
And there was a very weird one where people are very indecisive because they can't tell, but it looks like it's supposed to be Teddy Sears, Jay Garrick in the Dean Cain universe.
No idea.
And he's in a time bubble as well doing the run. But the weird thing is that people can't tell if it's supposed to be Teddy Sears because it's not only Teddy Sears' costume and it looks like him, but it also looks like John Wesley Shipp, but de-aged because he also plays Jay Garrick. So it's a lot of confused people being like, "What is this?"
Oh, so you know it's supposed to be Jay Garrick.
Yes, because it is the Jay Garrick costume, but it's the John Wesley Shipp specifically. I mean the Teddy Sears specifically his Jay Garrick. But it's even weirder because his Jay Garrick isn't Jay Garrick. That's a lie.
Mhm.
That's not true. He's never been Jay Garrick. It was a lie that he told people.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess one last thing then,
Sorry.
before we move on. Uh, I think the costumes for the young Flash and Savitar were actually pretty good.
I
I like the design they decided to go with.
I think especially when he rips off the neck piece and he can turn his head more, I think that's
Yeah,
when it was very good.
yeah. And you told me why you understood why his like mask's so weird in the trailer or something. It's because he was
Yeah.
using a Batman mask.
It's also there was a lot of times where people were like, "Wow, this suit looks really weird on Ezra in these scenes," and then it's now watching it, you realize because it's not old Barry, it's young Barry wearing it.
Yeah, it's young Barry wearing like a refurbished Batman suit.
Well, no, I mean, in the scenes where he's wearing old Barry's suit and the helmet's like big on him and stuff,
Oh yeah, that
but
one
like
too.
it's not big on old Barry
Hmm.
because they have very different facial. Like a young Barry has a smaller like jaw and everything, and his face is a lot kind of smaller and whatnot,
Hmm.
and his body isn't like the same, so he's like got very different features. So it's like it looks different. And I think that's actually a good detail in the movie, but in the trailers it was very confusing. But
Yeah,
also when he's wearing the bat suit, I like it that they play into the fact that it is from like the 1980s, so it
I like
is
how
just a giant
Savitar is
rubber
like
suit that doesn't really
drooling.
move.
I like how Savitar is drooling and he's like kind of out of it the entire time he's there, and
Dude,
his voice is all fucked up too.
I love this look for Sav. Again, I've never liked the original Savitar. I think his look is so boring and just whatever.
What
And
do
I
you mean?
think every
Mechs are
time anyone's
cool.
done a
You
new
like
look
mechs.
for
You
him,
like mechs.
what was that?
Gundam.
No, I'm not talking about the Flash TV show Savitar. I'm talking about the comic book one where it's just a shirtless guy
Oh,
with
I
the metal
see.
mask.
I mean, that's cool too. Show
Is
off the
it?
guns, have a metal mask on.
It's kind of boring in comparison to like all the other versions.
That's true.
Which again, this isn't Savitar, but it's very reminiscent of CW Savitar, which I like.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, he's not actually Savitar, we're just calling him Savitar.
he's not Savitar, but we keep calling him it because why not?
Sure.
It doesn't change anything, and if anything, I like it more
That's
than just
probably
Dark
true.
Flash.
Yeah, so I like how jaded he is. He's like drooling and then, like he's got like purple lightning or something. And
Yeah, he has purple lightning. He's got like a fucking flame in his chest. That's the Flash symbol.
yeah,
It's you know
that's pretty
what? It's
solid.
actually a lot more reminiscent of New 52 Reverse Flash because that's kind of how his suit forms around his body. Is
Oh,
all
is it
these like
like melded into his skin or something? And
yeah, like when he becomes Reverse Flash, it's like these rocks, like kind of like concrete across his body in a very similar fashion, and
instead
he's
of like
like
a
this.
symbol on his chest, it's just like the lightning carved into his chest.
No, I think what he does, if I remember correctly, he takes Flash's symbol off his suit and places it on his own chest, and then just tilts it the other way, so it's a reverse. but it is just because that's how the original reverse flash symbol also looked in the comics. It was just a tilted version of normal flash's symbol,
Right.
but he like tilts it. But his costume, it's like these black rocks on top of like his skin turning a complete red from like the energy flowing through him. So it's got a very magma like look, and that's how his suit looks in the film. But yeah, I think it's a lot more Savitar esque.
Yeah, so that's about
Sorry,
it.
Flash nerd
It's
here.
pretty it was pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I liked it. Mostly. Yeah.
Submarine. Submarines are a
What
little
bunch of
scary,
fucking
aren't they?
morons. What a bunch of fucking idiots.
Well, now they're dead idiots because they're
Yeah,
dead.
man. I don't give a shit.
Whoa, James.
I don't.
You
I
don't
feel
care that
bad.
people are dead?
No,
5 people are dead, James.
I only care that one of them are dead because it's been said they were literally made to basically go because it was Father's Day and they wanted to make their dad happy.
Oh, that's pretty tragic.
Yeah, that's like the one thing I feel bad about is the kid that was forced to go
Listen,
on that
I get
sub
that
with those
you
4
think that
fucking
every
idiots.
single billionaire white person should die, like drop dead tomorrow, but
I don't think they should, but I don't care if they do.
like in this situation.
Yeah, because this is 4 idiots getting onto a submarine that
Do you
had
want to
failed.
explain the whole thing from the beginning?
Yeah, so these guys at this place called Watergate, which is such a bad name for the situation.
It's if
It's
it's the company
I know, but
thing.
it's very reminiscent of like Pizzagate and stuff.
I've heard Pizzagate before, and I've heard it referred to as bad, but I don't know what it is.
We'll
You
get
might have to
into
tell me that
another
next
day.
time. Yeah,
Yeah, another day. We'll make a reminder of that.
sure.
But Watergate made a submersible uh, vehicle, quote unquote, that they were going to take to view the Titanic shipwreck. Uh,
Hmm.
and it was a windowless submersible that had 3 screens on the inside and was controlled by a Logitech controller, which
Hmm.
was made originally to be used for PlayStation. It's a knockoff version of a PlayStation controller, essentially. Uh, and it's very weird. It's very bizarre, the construction of it, the inside of it, and whatnot. And the problem is, it had failed every test it was meant. Not even what it was meant to take. Every test it did take before that, it failed, and it never got to the depth they took it to originally.
Hmm.
Or not originally, but they took it to this time. It had failed every test they'd made before that. So it was a bad idea from the start that they had no concrete way to do.
Hmm. And I'll just say
But
this right now.
yeah,
Yes, they cut corner. This is like a custom submarine or something, right?
yeah, it's
they
a
built
custom submersible.
Watergate built it themselves,
Mhm.
and they cut corners on it
So
in
many
terms
corners.
of cost in order to build this thing.
They
and
cut so many corners. It's a complete circle.
it basically failed every single safety test they did on it.
Not even basically, it did.
It did, and for the Logitech controller thing, as far as I know, that's industry standard, but
Not
it's also
really.
still kind of weird. Because
It's
I know the
not
military
really
also
industry
uses.
It's but people are saying that
Yeah.
it's not a huge fucking thing. This is a very specific thing done for very specific type of machinery. And
Yeah.
it's not even like all of them. This isn't like a normal thing to do. It's very specific. It shouldn't have been done with a machine like this, with how impractical it already fucking was.
I thought the way it worked was they would hook it up to like this basically this like shaft and then just move it up and down. Like it does not a free floating submarine.
No, it's
Is it a free one?
no, it's on a weight system.
Okay.
It's being weighed down by these giant weights attached to it, and then they to surface rapidly, they would then drop those weights so they could go back up.
Oh, I see.
Fuck,
Yeah,
and they
'cause
did do that, by the way,
mm.
before they combusted
Yeah.
and were liquefied.
Liquefied.
It
I'm not
apparently,
sure exactly what happened. I just know that the sub. Well, I guess you should keep on going with the
Yeah.
whole story before we tell.
so, uh, so so they went down in the submarine and everything, and they
Was it
reached
5 people?
5 people total. The
Is it
CEO,
including the CEO?
yeah, including the
Okay.
CEO, 2 other billionaires I don't know the information of, the dad, who is also a billionaire, and the son, who he forced to go with him.
Yeah.
Uh, and this was already, by the way, a very small craft. So this is a lot of people for that.
Yeah, I saw
And I
it. I
think
saw the inside of it. It's tiny.
it's so small. It's so fucking small. These people are such fucking idiots. Oh god. Uh, but yeah, they went down in this fucking thing, and it it went further than they were supposed to. You know, we haven't gotten all the information back. I do hope there's a black box with the information recorded, maybe. Hopefully, fucking probably not though, knowing this machine.
I don't think they could. I don't think they put a black box in it.
No, they probably didn't. Knowing these idiots, no.
Mm-mm.
With all their fucking dollar store rivets and bullshit and fucking beams that aren't made for this type of like product they were making. God, they're
Yeah.
idiots. They're such idiots.
So they
Oh,
started descending,
uh,
and was
sorry,
it
I
like
was
I
getting
think
off
it
on a
was like
sidetrack.
this is supposed to be like it was supposed to be like an 8-hour trip or something, right? It was actually pretty
Yeah,
long,
go down, see the wreck, and come back up.
right? And I think like near the beginning they actually lost contact with it, right? Like an
Yeah,
hour and
like an
40
hour
minutes or
in, they
something,
lost contact.
right? So when they lost contact, was that when the submarine like imploded?
No, I don't think that's when, but it wasn't too long after. They didn't make it very far.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, by the way, the amount of time it took for the submarine to implode from like beginning to end, like when it
Yeah.
started and ended, was 0.30 milliseconds.
Oh, so it happened like instantly.
It was instant, but the thing is, everyone's like, "Oh, that's not bad." Then they probably weren't aware. They were aware because again, they dropped their weights. They do have equipment inside, like sensors that like tell them that there's problems and stuff. So they
Yeah.
did have information telling them something bad was happening.
You're about to get crushed in zero point 0.3 milliseconds. What?
Yeah.
Sorry, I
So
shouldn't be joking about that, but
so the
the
whole
way you said like yeah, so the amount of time you like stretching it out, I thought it was gonna be like it imploded in like 5 seconds and they fell every second. I'm like, oh man, that's terrible. You're like zero point 0.3 milliseconds. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
it's a lot
it
quicker than I thought it was.
yeah, no, it was not as fast as people like, or not as slow as people were like, oh, I hope they just, are oxygen deprived so they can drift off. And it's like, that would have been nice, wouldn't it? Instead of having a panicked moment and then suddenly being gone and not even a fucking atom of you exists anymore.
Suddenly becoming part of the Speed Force, the Ocean Force.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I guess they lost contact. So they imploded after they dropped the weights and tried to go back
Imploded.
up, or
Exploited.
yeah,
Yeah. After they dropped the weights, so they tried to resurface. What's thought to be the problem is that maybe they did get to the wreck by that time. Uh, Probably not though, and they got caught on some of the debris because that is the problem with the wreck. By the way, is how much debris is there,
right.
and so the thought is that they got caught in it and then imploded, but that's probably not the case. What I think happened is that they had a malfunction because this was not supposed to go that deep. It's not even rated to go as deep as the Titanic is sunk, and so I'm
Right, the
guessing they
submarine
probably.
is it can only go down to a certain depth before it gets dangerous, and they went past it.
I mean, normal submarines in general, and then it's like you have to have such hyper specific sort of like materials and stuff done. Like James Cameron is one of like the few people that have a submarine that can go that far and even further.
Yeah, that's a weird name that I heard. That I was like, what does
The
he have to have
director of the
anything to do with
Titanic movie and
the
the
director
Avatar
of the
movies.
Titanic movie? I was like, what does he have anything to do with this? And he's like, I'm actually a professional submariner, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah, because when he was making the Titanic movie, he went down to the Titanic in a newly built, made specifically for that sort of thing, submarine, and he had multiple of them that he went down with other people in,
And he
and
just took a
they.
liking to it. So
Well, yeah, no, it became like a whole thing because he wanted to be the one
right, right. James, you hello?
Titanic.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I'm here. By the
that's
way,
fine.
fun fact: James Cameron learned about 9/11 after resurfacing after looking at the Titanic.
It was during that time.
Yes,
Oh my god, dude, talk about the
it's
timing of
it's
it.
such a
Jesus.
wild video because like the people on the subs, they were like talking about it. They're like documenting the timestamps and everything. They're like 16 a.m.
Hey guys, a beautiful morning today at
September 11th, 2001.
September 11th, 2001.
That's literally what it's like. But
Holy shit.
yeah, it's so wild to watch the
Wow,
video of it.
crazy
But
coincidence.
yeah, but
Yeah. So so what? So let me get the events straight here.
Yeah.
They all get into the submarine. They
Hmm.
start going down,
Hmm.
and then they reach the wreck, or do they implode before they reach the wreck?
So that's what people are. We don't have that information.
Oh, so we don't
All we
know.
have is speculation. People are suggesting that they got to the wreck and got caught in debris. That's why they dropped their weights and tried to resurface.
Hmm.
I don't think they would have even made it that far,
Yeah, I don't think so either.
knowing how their tests were in the past, where it failed every time, and it never even made it that deep
Hmm.
in any of their tests. I don't think they even made it that far. I do think they tried dropping the weights before they imploded, but because how fast they imploded,
I think what happened was they got
I
on
think
there. They started going down. When they lost contact, I think they didn't realize it until like a little later, and I think that's when everything started failing, right? When they lost contact, because
yeah,
the submarine, maybe they got to a depth where the submarine couldn't handle it anymore, so things started breaking, and they realized that. But then, for me, I feel like they were too late to drop the weights, so I think they imploded, and then the weights fell off after they imploded.
that could be it too. There's also the thing where people are like, if they died before, what was the banging? The banging was probably them imploding because
That's probably true.
people did pick up banging from within like the ocean where they were and trying
I
to find
watched
them.
Charlie's like follow up video on this, where he was saying like the media was like dragging it out, saying like, oh, they're still alive and rescue thing is still going.
Yeah,
But
that was just
apparently
all trying to be
they
hopeful.
knew that this thing, like, there was evidence that it imploded like a week ago.
I mean, probably not a week ago.
He said it
No,
was on
actually,
Sunday.
yeah,
He said
yeah,
Sunday is when the evidence dropped that it probably imploded,
yeah. That's probably is when it
because
was.
they knew that the submarine couldn't handle the depth, and they kind of guessed where it was before they lost contact and everything, and it imploded.
Yeah,
And they had a pretty good guess that it imploded, but the media just kept like going on about how there's survivors, and the banging happened way after, like it was reported way after they imploded. So I don't know what the banging was actually.
I don't know. Probably them hitting the fucking ocean floor.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, be honest about it. Like that's probably like what it was either the implosion or it was them hitting the fucking ocean
Oh, it
floor
might
or
have
the
been
weights hitting.
their sub like falling, or their weights falling and hitting the
Yeah, I
rubble,
was gonna say the weights or
like
like
hitting the
their
debris that's
fucking.
near the Titanic down there.
Hey, by the
Maybe,
way, the controller was found whole.
dude. I see. I told you it was actually the $20 Logitech controller
So
was
funny.
probably the most robust thing that they had on their ship.
Yeah, dude, it's the fucking. I mean, the amount of engineers that quit that company because of like how unsafe that was. Jesus.
Yeah, no, they were like saying to Angela, like, you built it, go in there and test it out. I was like, what? What do you? No.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It's like the engineers kept going, "No, I'm not going to get into thing built from like fucking reinforcement beams that were not made for this, as well as dollar store fucking
No,
rivets and
it's
shit."
the guy who comes up to him is like, the contractor's like, all right, let's go get us some scientists. It's like in that Oppenheimer trailer. And then the engineers are like, you want me to do what? And you're like, just make a submarine. It's like, okay, but you got the materials for it? Yeah, we got some scrap metal here and there. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
man. He looks over at a pile
We
of
got
rusty
we got a
metal.
welding device right there. Go ahead.
Well,
What do you mean? Well,
welding.
no,
That's
we
not
can't
how we
we
that's not
can't
how we
just
do these.
weld together some scrap metal into a submarine. It's just that's not going to work. It's like, well,
God,
you're going to make it work.
dude, the fact, by the way, they could literally not open it from the inside if they wanted to.
Good luck, buddy. Like puts his hand on his shoulder, hands him the $20 remote. Oh, make sure that it works with that. We got it in the
That
back room.
specific engineer looking at all this news, being like, "What did I fucking say?"
That specific engineer, like, Jesus Christ, someone actually went to that submarine.
The CEO went in.
I
I
think I might
told
have.
them not to.
I think I might have killed them indirectly by building it. I just
No,
built it as a
dude.
joke. I didn't think they would actually use it.
No, here's the thing, by the way, people keep being like, "You're laughing at it." I'm like, "No, I'm laughing at the CEO that killed four people knowingly." Like, I'm laughing at that idiot. I'm not laughing at really the people that died necessarily, just him.
That dead idiot,
That
James.
dead
He's
fucking
dead.
idiot. You're
Respect
right.
respect the dead, dude.
That dead
Jesus.
woke idiot.
They won't be waking up anytime soon.
You want to know what the information is, by the way, on the whole woke thing with this?
Was there? Oh yeah, you did send me a thing about the woke thing. What was
It,
that?
the quartering, by the way, that's a real article and a real thing that that guy made.
Yeah.
He genuinely believes that, but it's a misquote because the guy's just like, yeah, I don't want old white people working on this. I want actual experienced young people doing this, and
Who?
that's all it is.
Wait,
But
that's what that video was that you sent me?
that's what the actual quote is, but the video is like he doesn't want any white people working on this. He doesn't want any white people working in his company, but it's like no, he just doesn't want old white people.
I see. Yeah,
It's mainly
fuck
just
them
old
old
people he
white
doesn't
people,
want.
dude. Holy shit.
I mean, what have they done for us, really?
Yeah, who cares what they've
They've
done?
sunk us again and again.
They've sunk us.
I
They
mean, the
sunk the
CEO alone
submarine.
is an old white guy that sunk himself.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
yeah, no, this CEO, like, even in like their waivers to go do this, it said you can die. You most likely will die, like shit like that. And that
It's-
fucking poor kid
That's
that was
funny
trapped
that
on that
that's in the
goddamn
waiver
sub.
because in like an interview like a year ago, he's like, "No, it's perfectly safe. This is literally the safest thing you can do.
Dude, it's
There is anyone can operate this submarine. There's two buttons on this controller. You go up and you go down, and that's it.
you can move side
You
to
literally
side.
can't fuck it up." Cut to that zero point 0.3 milliseconds in his mind when he's thinking as the hull like creaks in.
Everybody's been saying that the CEO like kept trying to play music to keep everybody like happy, but it
Playing
just kept,
music.
but it was like music
No,
about like drowning and shit.
no.
I can't breathe
Dude, I
no
don't think
more.
you'd be. I don't think I'd be worried about drowning if I was a few thousand feet underneath the water in a
Couple leagues
submarine.
under the sea.
I'd be thinking, if I touch that water, I die.
You want to know who another person that had a sub that could have gone that deep was?
Who?
Gabe Newell.
Who's that?
Fuck it, JD, Steam, Valve, the creator,
Oh, I see.
maker of Team Fortress 2 and all the other fucking shit from
I,
Valve,
I,
Half-Life and whatnot.
I don't know. The only Valve game I played was Left 4 Dead 2.
Fake fucking nerd. Yeah, he made that.
Yeah, that's the only Valve game. I don't
You
really
fake
follow
nerd.
like
You
the
fake nerd.
creators.
You
I like
fake
to
nerd.
separate the artist from the art, So I don't really know about the
JD,
artists.
you don't know any of the artists though.
That's true. It makes
That's
everything
what.
so much easier in my head to deal with. It
Yeah,
makes
I'm
my
sorry.
conscience so much clearer.
Cursed with
It makes me
knowledge.
so much less of a hateful person. Maybe you should try it sometime.
Yeah, if only I wasn't cursed with knowledge.
Yeah.
But yeah, this whole sub thing.
That's
CEO
pretty
killed
funny.
him.
Yeah,
I,
it is a tragedy. And
that's
and
as
although we
straightforward as
laughed
I'm
at
gonna
it and
be.
everything,
I'm
people
gonna
did
keep
die.
laughing at it.
People did
Yeah,
die in
they
this
did.
tragedy, and
They did.
I don't think they deserve to die. Um,
Mm, I
maybe
think
I mean
one
we
of
don't
them
know them.
didn't. I
I
think
mean,
one
you're gonna
person
say
on
the
that sub.
sea for one of you. The deepest pit of hell is open.
Me talking to the CEO and the dad,
Yeah, the CEO is
or
pretty.
two of
I mean,
you.
the dad didn't know that. I'm gonna assume that didn't know that the submarine was gonna kill all of them.
I mean, the dad was given the waiver that said you will die.
Yeah, but I'm guessing in his head like he thought it was a joke or something. I don't know.
I doubt. I just don't think he read it.
I
Probably.
mean, either way,
I mean, it's
you,
being
you could
ignorant.
argue that
It
stupidity
doesn't
got
make
them killed, but should you die because you're stupid? I mean, I don't know.
if it's doing it's rich people thinking that they're like the whole untouchable thing. Like, why would they think they would die doing this?
Yeah, it's just a
They're spending
submarine.
$250,000 for just one
It's that
ticket.
fallacy where if you're spending a lot of money, you must think it's valuable. When in actuality, it's just it's
But in
the
actuality, you
worst
just
thing
got
ever.
dropped down in an oversized fucking Dr. Pepper can into the ocean.
He got dropped in an oversized cardboard box, and SpongeBob was saying "imagination" as he gets crushed in zero point 0.3 milliseconds.
I mean, a lot of people really don't understand like how this could have happened as well, like how they were crushed. I don't think people realize how much pressure there is in
What, people
water.
don't know how the deep ocean works?
No, I don't think they do.
Yeah, you like die instantly past a certain depth. You just
Yeah, like you
the second you touch it, you're dead.
you compress.
You compress rapidly, and then you die. It's simple, But yeah.
Uh-oh.
Hmm? What's
Yeah,
wrong?
at a certain depth, you just atomize.
Yeah, you just you turn to a little dot. You turn to a pancake.
Dr. Manhattan shows up and just raises a hand towards you.
Hmm. But yeah, the
Yeah.
submarine situation, sad tragedy, I guess.
Meh. One tragedy. For idiots.
It is a tragedy of idiots. Um, any other
Yeah, I
topics
guess
that
you
you
could
want
say
to talk
that.
about?
Uh, let's see. Did we talk about anything? Because I can't.
I mean,
Oh
there's a little
yeah,
bit of drama that happened for Twitch and Kick.
yeah. XQC had a little fit
XQC,
through.
he signed. I mean, Kick signed him on for $100 million, James,
Yeah.
for 2 years. That's
Uh-huh.
huge, big money.
And then Hassan did something he hasn't already done before and criticized Kick for being an excuse for gamblers,
Eh, eh,
like Trainwrecks who helped make it. And XQC took it as a personal attack.
There's nothing in the Kick contract that says you have to stream gambling or whatever.
No, it doesn't. But it doesn't also mean that Kick is just an excuse for mainly gamblers to use that website as a reason to gamble and funnel people towards the gambling website, much like how Twitch funnels people towards Amazon and whatnot.
Well, it's simple, James. Just don't watch it.
That is simple, but that's not the problem here. You can say just don't watch it. That doesn't
James,
change
you
shit.
can't. All
That's
these
just fucking
stupid
words.
people funneling into this gambling site, and getting caught in this scheme and gambling away their money on was it company Stake,
Yeah, I forgot the name.
Stake.com.
I literally forgot the name. I was gonna
Yeah, I
say.
forgot it too for a second.
But the whole thing is that now
stupid, James, and
XQC.
you're fine with stupid people wasting away their money, like spending a bunch of their money to do
Yeah, but
whatever.
that doesn't mean I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna be okay with it. Like
Yeah,
I'm gonna look at what happened with the fucking submarine and I'm gonna be like, yeah, you're fucking stupid. Hopefully nobody else looks at this and does it again.
yeah.
I'm gonna look at what people are doing with Stake and I'm gonna be like, you're gonna be stupid if you go do that. Hopefully nobody else is gonna be stupid and does that. Oh, there's more people just promoting people going to do this. It's like if with the submarine, more billionaires were like, I've also built my own submersible and I'm gonna go do that.
I think I'm gonna build my own submarine, and I'm gonna charge people
I'm not gonna use,
500K a seat.
I'm not gonna use a Logitech controller.
But
I'm
the
gonna use a
difference is,
Logitech headset.
I'm going to use a $40 Logitech controller, and there's only going to be 3 seats available.
How big are the thumbsticks going to be on this one?
Oh,
Did you see that, by the way? How
thumb
big they were?
sized.
They were so
I didn't
huge
see
on
it.
it.
No.
They're so huge. They're like at least 3 inches long.
Yeah, so XQC got signed to Kick, and a lot of money. That's like professional, like sports players amount of money contract
Yeah,
that they
it's.
sign on.
I
It's
mean,
crazy.
that is the thing, though. Kick has a lot of money they can just throw around. And I think that's
Stake
what's
has a
gonna.
lot of money.
You're right. Sorry, Stake has a lot of money, but I also think it's going to be end up being a mixer situation where they just blow all their fucking money and nobody really watches them by the end.
It's gonna take a while for them to blow all their money.
I don't know.
Because
Seeing what they're spending on creators, I don't know.
because I'm pretty sure they're like multi-billion, right? Stake.
Yeah, Andrew Tate was supposed to be multi-billion.
Yeah, but Andrew Tate is not Stake.
Yeah, but they're also fucking liars no matter what.
You think Stake's
Yeah.
lying about their financial statements?
I would not be surprised.
Maybe.
I mean, if you've seen their headquarters, it's a fucking shack.
Well, obviously, all their money is online. It's all invested in crypto.
Yeah, but they don't want to have a fucking better area to work in.
Hell no.
Anyways,
They work
yeah,
from home.
they don't. XQC got mad when a couple of other streamers though called out the gambling problem and how this is just a funnel for it.
Yeah.
And he decided to call them all snakes and hypocrites because they started promoting like fucking fantasy football, and he tried equating it to be the same thing, even though
Yeah.
it's not.
Isn't that just what is fantasy football?
Fantasy football is just making a roster of like your favorite football players, and if people on that roster do good, you can end up winning like just a sum at the end.
Oh, is it like sports betting?
Yeah, it's just sports betting,
I see.
but it's not really exactly what Stake does, which is just fucking scam people. Just blatantly rip you off and take your money and only promote actual streamers and give them money whenever they use it.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
I think XQC is just he's just a little he's trying to be defensive about his $100 million contract. And you know what?
I think he felt like he got
I
called.
understand.
I think he felt took it personally when it wasn't
I
directed
think
at
it
him.
was though. I think it
Not
was in response to XQC signing the deal though. Because although
this is
they were like in the past they did already like talk about Kick and their stuff, they drop like a new one right when XQC signs. I think
I mean,
was
yeah,
implied that
Kick's in the news again, so why not talk? But
yeah.
they always talk about this. It's not a new thing they talk about when they talk about Kick. This has always been a topic they bring up, and XQC is just taking it personally because the same group of friends have called him out on gambling before. So he took it as them coming on out on gambling this time when it wasn't even about him. It was just that they were in the news again, so they wanted to talk about Kick. And instead, he took it as a personal attack on him when it wasn't. Now people are trying to fucking like throw fits and shit, but anyway, it's just dumb. It's him trying to equate what Twitch does with fantasy football to the
Yeah,
same as
whatever,
what
James.
Kick
I'm gonna
does
go
with Kick.
support my boy XQC on Kick now. So
Yeah, what are you gonna be his 42nd viewer? Fucking
it's
so funny.
43rd. Thank you.
I'm sure it's higher now.
No, it's probably higher. There's
But
no way
anyway,
only 40 people go watch him on Kick.
it would be funny though. Uh, but yeah, I think it's a very dumb situation to just lose your mind at because
That's
it's
probably
like
true. I
you're
think
making a
everyone will forget
bag.
about the contract later on anyway.
Yeah,
Or
I
whenever.
think you made the money. Just do the contract. Don't like fucking get yourself kicked off one platform where you could be profiting from both because you
That's
want to have
probably
a
true.
fit in defending one of them over the other.
She's got to play the system, man. I mean,
I don't think he
he's
does. And
pulling he's pulling a you, James, and he has to reply to all these comments. And
yeah, but the
and he's
problem.
probably got a dude, his moderator in chat, that's me, and I'm like, dude, just don't
Yeah,
reply.
but
You're like, I have to do it. I have to do it.
JD, this is like saying that me and Simu Liu are the same because we both have to reply to comments all the time. I'm not. I'm not.
Well,
I'm
you
not
are the same
a
as
millionaire.
Stevie McLew.
Simu Liu.
Sorry,
Shang-Chi, JD. His
I,
name is not Steven.
I did. I don't know. I don't know. I did. I couldn't hear what you were saying really. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not like me and Simu Liu where we both have to reply to everything. But the difference between me and Simu Liu is I'm not a famous person with people who can take care of this for me and ignore it.
Yeah.
I'm not famous. I get the alerts on my phone. I
Yeah.
have to look at them when I try to turn my phone on.
I mean, you can just turn alerts off.
I could,
Right. Right. I
but I
think they
like
let you do
getting
that.
alerts for stuff that I make and post. I like
Yeah.
seeing people like the stuff I do.
Mm.
But then I see some dumbasses say some shit.
Yeah. And you don't have to reply to them.
I don't. But JD, when I see people be like, W Tate, I gotta be like, he's been convicted,
You got to be like,
criminally
kill
charged.
your.
I did it once, and I'm never gonna do it
He's
again. But I'm also
indicted,
not gonna
James.
take it
He
down.
has to go to trial. Okay. And when he proves himself innocent in the trial,
There is
what will you say
audio
then?
evidence.
What will you say then?
There's literally audio evidence.
You'll look really dumb once
He's
once he
admitted
walks
to
out a
it.
free man out of that trial. You'll look real
No,
dumb.
JD, this is like what Trump did. There's audio evidence of them admitting to it.
Well, I mean, there's audio evidence of me saying stuff, of me admitting to stuff that I haven't done, like the whole bodies thing, burying the bodies. That it wasn't real.
Yeah. But JD, the difference is you're not on trial for something that's been proven.
The difference is I'm not on trial for the things that I said online,
JD, the difference is
and maybe also have many other corresponding pieces of evidence that link to what I say.
yeah, JD, the difference is there aren't multiple pieces of evidence other than audio. There's witnesses, there's people coming out against it and stuff, and people are still being like, no,
Nah,
he's
dude,
innocent,
they're
he's
not
innocent.
witnesses. Okay, they're dogs of the system. Let's get that straight.
They're just jealous boyfriends.
They're just pieces of code from the Matrix. Okay.
God, dude, I love that he's just fake. Everything about him is just turned out to be fake.
Listen,
He's
can you
not-
see how the media is attacking me when they try to make this pedophile over there in Britain seem like a good guy? They try to get me like this guy too,
I'm the hero.
comparing himself to a groomer to another groomer.
Can you say I'm the hero, but with your Andrew Tate voice?
I am the hero. Okay, I am the hero. All of these people, they're part of the Matrix. Okay, and they are the villains. They are the villains, and I am the hero. They are trying to make us suffer. But since we are masculine men. I don't think I quite get his accent down, but I think I got his like his cadence down.
Yeah,
The way he says words, I got that down.
Yeah, you got the whole saying, and you got the whole American accent but British words thing down.
Yep. Pretty
It's
solid.
So wild. I don't know how he fucking talks like that. It's so insane.
I love talking like that. It's because it makes you sound like you're saying something important.
When you're just saying the most insane
when you could just say random shit. The Matrix.
Oh god, he's so insane. Dude, has Aiden said anything about it?
I don't know. I don't watch Aiden, James. I don't keep up with the Aiden news.
I don't either, but
the only times I ever see anything about Aiden is whenever he does something crazy and maybe another content creator I watch reacts to it.
The only time I see
shows up in my
Aiden is when
recommendations.
he uses his Twitter burner account to beg Hassan to kill himself. Dude, it's so insane.
Hassan,
so
please, Hassan.
Yes.
Take the W, dude. Take the W.
That's what he says, though.
Put the iron in your mouth and pull the trigger.
He says that, though. I'm not joking. It's like insane because everyone's like, we know this is you.
Yeah, you remind me of Aiden Ross.
I'm Aiden Ross, but if he wasn't serious.
You make death threats too, just like Aiden Ross does. And then you also say L take. JD, you take nothing but L's.
Again, JD, I'm Aiden Ross and you're Hassan Piker.
No, and I'm Aiden Ross's friend who's like, yeah, I love that shit.
Dude, I can't believe he's
I'm that guy.
That's so funny.
Did you think he was younger or older?
I thought he had to be older, but also like him being as old as us, I'm just thinking, how is he so fucking stupid?
That is strange, isn't it? We act way different than he does.
We absolutely have the same. We have the same amount of education as him.
Did he go to college too, or
no? Fuck that. I have the same amount of education as him.
Never mind. I was gonna say he did. He doesn't sound like he went to college.
This guy's so stupid. I love it.
Yeah, that's insane to me. Because like I'm going to assume that a lot of people act like Aiden Ross does, like the way he talks and like the way he
but not
says
people
things.
His age specifically. Like not people our age.
I would
really.
say, but maybe like 4 years younger than him. Maybe is what I imagine his way of acting is like.
He doesn't know how to spell most words, and he doesn't understand big words. So that's why
funny. Some of my friends can't spell right either.
I can't spell sometimes.
Like they're pretty. I feel like they're pretty down to earth people. They just can't spell for some reason.
I think that's the difference. Is that this is an insane person.
Yeah. they're literate and they can read like college level just fine. They just can't spell. Like remember the word off the top of their head and spell it out.
Right.
I don't know. There's something weird about that.
I think me and Aiden Ross need to have a fucking spelling bee. Dude, it would be so intense.
Yeah.
I would have to close my eyes.
Spell the word woke, and then you start shaking. Start shaking, and Aiden Ross is like, woke. Can you use it in a sentence for me?
Give me a definition.
This new Transformers movie is woke. And you're like, no. Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, that's all we have time for, unless you have something more to talk about.
Another person that's also doing like the weird like online begging thing is Dr. Disrespect on his Twitch streams now.
What's he begging for?
He's it's like not really begging, but he's doing like the cadence of begging. Like he's doing the voice, but he's not saying it. It's whimpering. That's what it is.
Oh, I see. You think he's whining?
Yeah, that's what it is. Sorry, whining, not whimpering.
Whimpering.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it though.
Yeah.
Like he's whining and he's going like, Hassan, he's so fat. It's like, what?
That is true, dude.
It's so weird.
I don't know what he looks like right now, but maybe it's true.
It's not. Objectively, it's not. He's so far from
Wait,
him.
that's
like,
what he's. Is that what he actually said?
Yeah, I here, I can
He
find the
said
video.
he's fat.
I can find the video. I don't have the like original clip.
How old is this guy again?
42.
That's his insult. Come on,
Yeah.
man. You could do better.
That's what I said.
There's a
I'm
lot
like,
of things you could make fun of Hassan for. Don't have to resort to the 30-year-old. You're fat.
42.
Okay.
Here, let me try to find it real quick. Okay, again, this isn't the here, can I even download this? I can. This isn't the like just the clip by itself. It's like somebody talking about it, but they play the clip in it.
I'm surprised that drama's still happening.
I know that's what my thing of if they just shut up about it, I wouldn't like care. I wouldn't.
I mean, I think if they shut it, if everyone just shut up about it, like give it like 3 days and then everyone forgets about it. Move on to the next drama.
Honestly, I just not care anymore.
Let me see this.
For whatever reason, Dr. Disrespect is still heard about this. And I guess he didn't embarrass himself enough last time, so he's come back with more. So let's take a look.
My favorite content creator is Hassan. Even though
Oh, he's mocking someone. I thought you meant the, I thought you said he was going to say it seriously.
His real thoughts on it though. It's like the way he's doing it. It's like, what is this?
It's his real thoughts, but he's mocking like the voice of someone who's whining about it.
I know, but it's like, why do it this way?
Structure of shoulders and he's unathletic. I got nothing going on.
It feels very off for him to do it. It doesn't feel like what he would do normally. It feels like this is very like real pain to him. He's like actually upset that he's not properly take it.
Shoulders and he's unathletic.
He's unathletic, that weird straight shoulders. But from what I know of Hassan through Charlie is that they play basketball together all the time.
Right. That's why.
So
like,
that's, I feel like he's pretty athletic then.
And the basketball video is like maybe a month old.
So I feel like he's pretty athletic then, because I'm pretty sure they get together like weekly at the very least to play basketball.
He does. He plays basketball so much, and that's like what I'm saying. Is
like, apparently he's really good at it.
He is, and that's why I'm like, I don't think Dr. Disrespect knows who he's talking about.
I don't think he knows really either.
Does Dr. Disrespect think H3 and Hassan are the same person?
I think he maybe actually. I don't know.
Because I know they have a podcast together and people like talk about them together sometimes.
I know they're gay for each other, but
no, it'd be Austin from Hassan's streams.
No, I think Dr. Disrespect is trying to farm the clout from it. I think that's what he's doing.
I don't know. He was genuinely upset when Hassan did say like the whole "damn, you're more loyal to Nick Merckx than your wife" thing. He was genuinely upset about that, despite it being true.
I think he was pretty insulted by that one. That got him right in the feels.
I mean, apparently it was on his.
That grabbed him by the sack. The sack.
Apparently Hassan said it, and it was on his anniversary or something.
Oh, I see.
But like, who the fuck knew that? If you're not a Dr. Disrespect fan.
Well, Hassan knew that. He's a big disrespect head.
No, he literally read something chat said. He didn't say it himself.
He's a Dr. Disrespect head.
Big Dr. Disrespect head.
Oh yeah, how do you know that Hassan doesn't watch Dr. Disrespect? Prove it. Receipts or it didn't happen.
Because he streams everything he does during the day. The man streams it all. All he does is watch like political shit all the time. He doesn't care about Dr. Disrespect.
And that's where Dr. Disrespect's got to get political, you know?
Yeah.
Fight him in his home territory.
He's got to get on the side of Nick Merckx and being upset about nothing happening just so he can be transphobic publicly.
Well, you know, to one each their own.
Yeah.
Anyway, if that's it, then
yeah, that's it.
That's all the time we have for then. If you enjoyed, you should subscribe because we do this every Sunday.
We do?
Yeah. Well, at least most Sundays.
What happened that one time?
Well, I set it to upload and I went to bed, and it didn't upload, so it wasn't a Sunday, but it was pretty close to Sunday. That was only a day off. Anyway, though, so yeah, you can see James.
Oh wow, the internet cut out. I thought you were just going silent.
Oh no, I was saying stuff the entire time. Anyway, so if you want to check out James, his stuff is in the description.
Yeah, you can watch my streams and our commentary tracks.
Yeah, and So, James, bring us out.
So I think an interesting thing that the movies could do